Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson,
It's
Mississippi.
7 a.m. Let's rise and shine. Stock talks money, the future's aligned. Grab your coffee, let's take a ride. It's wealth and wisdom time will rise. Author, Mr. Educator, team sharing the wealth, building things you should do. From trust to thinking, it's all a must. Your guide to wealth is money and trust. Let's unite, let's secure it right. Dreams take shape with every desire. Rules and assets, life insurance plans, building for your future with expert hands. So talk money and more, building wealth with knowledge galore. It's a protection, plans to grow. Dream and watch your dreams overflow. Bring today to trust for life, breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips, we're here to help your fortune eclipse. Bring today to trust for life, breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips, we're here to help your fortune eclipse. And now it's time to learn some wisdom's your return. Invest, protect, and
Good morning, good morning, good morning to my WNPR and WGDQ listening audience, as well as my YouTube viewing audience. We have reached the fourth Monday in November, you guys. We've reached the fourth Monday in November. And if you're tuning in this morning, you're tuning in to So Talks Money and More. I am your host, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor, opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted. And I am so excited and delighted to be here today. I tell you, it's taking everything we got this morning to be here. We're struggling over here this morning, but God is good and He's making a way. And Mr. Jones and I came in this morning with our crazy glue and our duct tape in hand. So we holding this thing together this morning. But today, on all seriousness, I got to sound an alarm. I mean, a loving, necessary, community-saving alarm. Now, we know the holiday season has arrived, and so has the pressure to spend, spend, spend. But this morning, I'm inviting you to pause, to breathe, and to ask one important question. Is spending money we don't have for things we don't need really an expression of our thanks? Let me repeat that again. Is spending money for things we don't need, money we don't have, first of all, for things that we don't need, we don't really need them, is that really an expression of our thanks? Now, today, we're going to talk about the overspending trap of Black Friday, the debt many fall into during the holiday season, and the impact of overspending on the Black community. Also, we're going to post some alternatives that can actually build wealth, build legacy, and not destroy it. So let's dive in. If you're just tuning in this morning, come on in the room. YouTube, I see you coming in. Good morning to all of you. Let's talk about it. Now, every year, the numbers climb. In fact, a 2025 holiday spending survey revealed that in spite of the fact that the government was just shut down for over 40-something days, in spite of the fact that EBT benefits were cut off, in spite of the fact that people are losing jobs and all kind of things are going on in the economy, 42% of shoppers expect to spend more than $1,000 this season, this holiday shopping season. So that means more than half of Americans, let's say 57%, according to this survey, say they will take on debt just to make someone happy with a holiday gift. Imagine that. 57% of Americans say they are willing to take on debt just to make someone else happy with a holiday gift. Now, let's break the numbers down. Here they are. The Black Friday numbers are actually quite staggering. 24% of shoppers on Black Friday plan to spend at least $1,000 or more. 32% expect to spend at least $500, with only 17% planning to stay under $100. This is on Black Friday. That's this week. Now, these numbers, ones I just gave you, they don't even include holiday travel, food, or all the extras. That's just what we planning to spend on gifts. Get this, to make someone else happy for the holiday season. Now, we gave you those numbers, but these are some I want you to just think about. And come on and talk to me, YouTube, if you tuned in this morning and if you're in a position to do so, because I want to know what your thoughts on this. Let's look at some contradictions to the numbers I just gave you as it relates to our spending choices. Now, many of us don't have a problem paying $24.99 a month for Netflix premium, but we won't pay $100 for a share of Netflix stock. But we planning to spend over $1,000 on gifts to make someone else happy. We'll buy our kids a $1,200 iPhone 17. You know, that's the new one, the premium, the pro iPhone 17, but we won't pay $266 for a share of Apple stock. We'll spend $300 on Nike shoes, but we won't spend $60 on a share of Nike stock. Now I'll go back to this again. We have done a survey of those who plan to spend during the holiday season. That survey revealed that 42% of shoppers expect to spend $1,000 during this holiday season. But what are we spending it on? We're certainly not spending it on Netflix stock. We're not spending it on Apple stock, nor are we spending it on Nike stock. What we're spending it on are iPhones, Nike shoes, and as I say, Netflix premiums. And we're gonna dive deeper into that one. I put that one on there specifically because I want to share something with you. Now you think about that. One of those things will depreciate. We know that, while the other one appreciates. Well, Dr. Williams, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Okay, remember this is an educational show, so we're going to break it down for you. One will go up in value while the other one goes down in value. One is going to end up in the closet, thrown away, thrown out, while the other one can actually build a legacy. It can put you on a pathway to building wealth. Now, the question that I have for you as individuals, each of us need to ask ourselves this: which one aligns with the future that we say we want? What do we want for our families? What do we want for our children? Don't they have enough shoes and toys and all of this stuff? Don't they have enough of that? What are we giving them? How are we positioning them for a better future? Now, sadly, more and more people, and many in our own community, we aren't even thinking about Thanksgiving. You know, that's Thursday. I heard a commercial on the radio the other day, and the guy was saying, he was making an announcement about an upcoming event, Pictures with Santa. And he said, we're talking Pictures with Santa, and we hadn't even celebrated Thanksgiving yet. But that's the reality. That's what we're prioritizing. That's what's being promoted to us. Christmas, and we haven't even passed Thanksgiving yet. We aren't even thinking about Thanksgiving as a day of gratitude and connection. Instead, we're thinking about lining up for pre-Black Friday sales. Now, if I just stepped on your toe, I'm sorry, but I got to tell it like it is because I want to challenge us to start thinking differently. Now, in 2025, 33% of in-person Black Friday shoppers said they would start shopping in store on Thanksgiving Day. On Thanksgiving Day. So that means we are abandoning family time for sale time. We rush through our meal so we can go get that deal. We spend money meant for our bills, savings, and perhaps even other investment opportunities on impulse. But I ask this question again. Now, if you're just tuning in, I'm going to ask it again. Is spending money that we don't have for things that we don't need, is that really an expression of thanks? I'm going to let that one sit right there. Is spending money we don't have for things that we don't need really an expression of our thanks? Now, I know there are some of you that will make the argument, well, Dr. Williams, I have it. Okay, I have it. All right, well, maybe you do have it. But are you really spending it on things that you need? The survey said we got folks, they're saying they're willing to spend $1,000 or more on gifts just to make folks happy. Okay? Let's think about that. What is Thanksgiving? We talk about this holiday. Is it just a day that, we set aside to prepare and give us time to rest up to go get the Black Friday sales? No. Thanksgiving should be about legacy. At least it was in my family. I remember being with my family on Thanksgiving holiday, on Christmas holidays, whether we got anything or not, it was great. But the idea of connection with my family, being with my family, sharing our family stories, teaching our children where they come from. I'm convinced that's what's wrong with a lot of these kids. That's why they're in identity crises, because they don't even know where they came from. They don't know their heritage. They don't know their history. They don't even know their royal lineage, because we are out Black Friday shopping. We're not passing down our wisdom. But too often, as I say, families are more focused on what's on sale than they are even about what's on the table, what's on sale. Now, let's jump over here and look at that name. Let's talk about the name Black Friday. Have you ever really thought about why is it called Black Friday? Why couldn't it be called some other kind of Friday? I look in the mirror and I'm black every Friday. I don't know about you guys, but why do we call that day? Why has it been designated as Black Friday? Well, I'm going to tell you. Stay here with me. Stay with me. Retailers call it that day, Black Friday, because it moves them out of the red and into the black, which means into profits. Okay, retailers, they are looking at it as a day in which they can make profit. Now, I need you to think about something. Who is really in the black? Who is really in the black? And at whose expense? When we overspend, when we swipe credit cards, when we buy now and pay later, who really profits? Who really goes into the black? And who goes into the red? Those deals, those great, wonderful deals, that big flat screen TV, that's such a great deal. Well, newsflash, those deals aren't designed to help us. They are designed to help them. Okay, let me say that again. That deal that you just can't live without, that deal that you're willing to go sink yourself in debt for to make somebody else happy for the holiday, it's not about you. You're not getting a great deal. All you're doing is helping the retailers get into the black. Okay? Let's talk about something else that makes this year especially concerning. Now, if you hadn't been tuning in to me, last week we talked about something and we gave some statistics. And if you weren't here, I want to just kind of revisit those because I need you to think about something. In 2025, let's talk about some statistics from 2025. The employment to population ratio for Black women fell to 57.2%, a 4-year low. More than 300,000 Black women have left or been pushed out of the workforce this year. alone. 2025. Families are stretched thin. Savings are low. Job stability is uncertain. And yet, and yet, the pressure to buy gifts, to upgrade phones, and impress family and friends is at an all-time high. Think about that. We have no jobs. We're struggling to make ends meet, but yet we still feel pressured to show up the same way that we showed up when we were employed. Hmm. Family, family, listen to me close. This year, 2025, this is the year our spending must be strategic. Must be. This is the year we must protect our financial future. This is the year where that good deal could actually be a bad decision. It may not be the best decision. I know it seems like a great deal, but it may not be the best decision. Now, Dr. Williams, when you say that, okay, you're telling me that it may not be the best option for me, but what are some alternatives? Well, I'm glad you asked. So lean in close. Let's talk about some alternatives. If we do have it to spend, I want you to think about something. I want you to consider buying stock instead of stuff. I'm going to say that again. Think about buying stock instead of stuff. Most of us have more stuff than we really even need. I think about my mother, my parents have a neighbor, new neighbor. This person's family is moving from a house and they're downsizing. And they literally have accumulated and amassed so much stuff over the course of their lives that they have spent the whole month or so or 2 months since they've been at the new place going through and giving away stuff. We are just flowing, we're overflowing with stuff. We rent storage spaces for our stuff. We literally pay, okay, and we taking money out of our pocket, putting money into somebody else's pocket to store our stuff. That's where our value is. That's where our values are on our stuff. Family, come on. Let's move beyond that and let's start thinking differently. Let's think about stocks instead of stuff. Now, a $266 share of Apple stock, and I say 266, it could be a little less or a little higher because the market fluctuates. That's going to outlive that $1,200 iPhone every time. After a while, that iPhone is going to get old, and they're going to want the next upgrade, and the next upgrade, and the next upgrade. But that share of stock, it's appreciating. It goes higher and higher. The more you run out and you buy these iPhones, guess what happens to that stock? It's going up. It's going up. A $60 share of Nike stock outgrows a $300 pair of shoes. I want you to think about that. How many times I've even gone to people's houses before where they have closets lined with Nike shoes or some other fancy brand tennis shoes. But when you have engaged them in conversation and ask them, well, how much stock do you own in this company? Because you certainly own a whole lot of their shoes. Mouths go, Mom, I don't own any Nike stock. Think about that. What are we doing? There I am. Okay, good. I'm back with you now. I got it figured out, Mr. Jones. I told you I got that duct tape with me this morning. I got it. I got it. All right. So one thing I want to talk about in particular when we talk about stocks, I use the example as I say Netflix. Many of us have these Netflix subscriptions, and I think the premium package runs about $24.99 a month, right? Now, something interesting happened last Monday as it relates to Netflix. Does anybody know? Anybody in my chat? Does anybody know what happened with Netflix last Monday, November the 17th? All right. Gone. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. The stock actually split 10 to 1. Now, for people that are not familiar with the stock market and how, what that means and how that works, that really means for every one share of stock that you had, the company gave you 10 shares, so 9 additional shares, okay, of stock. So 10 to 1. Think about that. I'm sorry, not even 9 more. They gave you 10 more, right? So for every share of stock that you had, you got more shares of stock. So let's do some simple math. Some simple math. Thank you, Roderick. I see you. Thank you for checking in with me. He says a forward split 10 to 1. That's exactly what happens. So somebody has been watching the market. Somebody is in tune. Okay. So let's say you had one share of stock and your stock was worth $100, that one share. And somebody gave you 10 more shares. So you multiply that 10 times 100. Think if my math is correct, that's 1,000, right? So now you have $1,000 versus that $100. And actually you have more than that because you have your original stock that you started with. That is far more valuable to you than that $24.99 that is costing you every month. That is costing you. We've got to start thinking about how to make money as opposed to how to spend money, how to invest our money, as opposed to how to continue spending money. Because as I said, Black Friday is not about putting you in the black. It's about putting other folks in the black. So my question, Dr. Williams' question for us, the Black community is, what is your plan? What is your personal plan? I'm not talking about the plan for the whole, the whole community, all of us Black folks as a whole. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking to us as individuals. What is your plan for putting your family in the black? How do you do that? You don't do that by continuing to do the things that you've always done if they are not working for you. That is what you don't do. You've got to do some things differently. So when these kids run in your face talking about these shoes, these $300 shoes, $400 shoes, and some of them even cost as much as $1,200. If they can make their mouths to ask you for a pair of $1,200 shoes, and you can go in your pocket and purchase the $1,200 shoes, then you can also go in your pocket and purchase some stock to invest in these children's future. Come on, let's think differently. We got to start thinking forward, because we see where we are today. We see where this economy is. We see the struggle. We've got what has we've done in the past. It ain't working. It's not working now. It's not going to work in the future. We've got to do something different. Now, number two, first one was buy some stock instead of stuff. Number two, we've got to start supporting our Black-owned businesses. We've got to learn how to spend intentionally. It's interesting. There are a whole lot of other businesses, and I'm not knocking it, but I just want you to think about something. There are a whole lot of other businesses in our community. There are a whole lot of other businesses in our community. But when we have things that concern our community, how often can we go to these other people and ask them to support the things that concern us? How often are we seeing these people reinvest in our community. Now we see the money going out of the community, but what's coming back into our community? We've got to start spending intentionally, family, and keeping our dollar circulating in our community. Now, I know there are some that will say, why should I just do business with folks because they're Black? Why not? That's the question that is so baffling to me about us and our community. Do other people really ask that question? You take somebody from another community, are they gonna sit there and ask the question, should I support, this Mexican restaurant just because they're a Mexican restaurant? Well, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Carla, I see you calling. We're going to start taking calls on the other side of the break, but I want to get through my monologue this morning. So give me just a minute and we'll get to you. And please feel free to call in. But if you call, have something to add, something of value to add to our discussion today. We're not here to debate. We're not here to do any of those kind of things. I tell you, it's been one of those kind of days this morning and we don't have any tolerance or any patience for any of that stuff. But if you have something to add of value to our discussion, please feel free to call in. All right. Now, another thing, let's start learning how to start that holiday fund, that holiday savings fund, so that we don't find ourselves struggling trying to go in debt to go get those Black Friday deals. We used to have this thing called the layaway. Back in the day, we had a layaway where we laid it away, we made payments, we paid it out, and then when we got it out the layaway, we didn't owe nobody nothing. Maybe we need to go back to that. Give me 1 second. I see you over there. Hold on for me just a second. I'm almost there. Let's give some gifts of financial literacy. We give them everything else. We give them phones. We give them shoes. We even go in debt and buy them cars that we know we cannot afford. But how many of us intentionally invest in financial literacy for our children during the holidays? How many? Come on, talk to me, YouTube. How many? My callers, you're calling in. How many of us pay for our children to go take a financial literacy course? How many of us invest in books and software and things that can improve their financial literacy? We give them other things. Why can't we give them that? How many of us open brokerage accounts for our children? Perhaps we should consider that. How many of us buy their first fractional shares of stock? We give them other things. Why can't we give them that? How many of us are actually teaching our children how wealth grows? How are we demonstrating that for them? And then make time your gift. Make time. Give them the gift of time. Show them how compound interest works. Make time, or make your time their gift. Instead of being so focused on running out for those Black Friday sales, sit them down during the Thanksgiving holidays and talk about legacy. Talk about land and property and wealth, and why it's so important for us at this time to start having this conversation and not just talking about what gifts and what gadgets we're going to give them. If you want to just give them anything, give them a course in AI. Let them learn how AI technology works. That's what you are doing, positioning these babies, positioning them. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take a break. Let me take a break. Give me a break. And then on the other side of the break, I'm going to take this call. Good morning. Good morning. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Soul Talks Money and More. I am your host, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams. This morning, we are talking some good stuff, If you missed that first half of the show, I tell you, go on over to my YouTube channel. I am so noted. That's I-am S-E-W-N-O-T-E-D, and catch the replay. This morning, we're challenging our community to think differently when it comes to our Black Friday spending. There are some things that we have got to do differently. We've got to do differently, and statistics show us that, there are a lot of people within our community that's planning to go out and spend during the holiday season. A survey that was done, a 2025 holiday spending survey, revealed that 42% of shoppers expect to spend more than $1,000 this season. And the question that we have posed to the community is spending money we don't have for things we don't really need an expression of our thanks? We're in the Thanksgiving holiday season, and Dr. Williams has said what she has to say, and I got a few more things to say, but right now I'm going to pause and take this call. Let's see, caller. Thank you for your patience. Okay, let's see. Mr. Jones, I'm pushing the red over here, but I got all kind of stuff lightening up over here. No, I don't. I have 3 flashing red buttons. Oh, that red button. Okay. Good morning, caller. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. How you doing, baby? You doing all right?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing excellent now.
I'm going to up you. I'm doing excellent. Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been trying to get in the stock market for years. I don't understand. I got money I want to put in the stock market. How can I contact you? How can I get in the stock market? I love to get in the stock market and invest money, but I really don't know how to get into that, how to do it.
Well, and you have a valid point, and I thank you for asking that question. Now, let me just say this, a full disclosure. Dr. Williams is not a stock market expert. I do not purport myself to be a stock market expert at all. My area is real estate, and my area is estate planning. However, what I will tell you is there are a lot of trading platforms out there, things like Webull, that's a trading platform, Moomoo. But what I'm going to encourage us to do, and I'm so happy. Thank you for presenting this call.
Right.
I'm going to encourage us to start investing in our education. There are people like, for example, my good friend, Dr. Boyce Watkins at the Black Business School, who has courses on stock market investing that will teach you and show you how to set up these different platforms and how to do the investing. And a part of what we have to do is get into the mindset that our greatest investment and our first investment is going to be an investment in ourselves and our knowledge. So I'm going to suggest that you consider that. You can go online, just Google search it, Black Business School. And there are any number of classes that you can take, not just on stock market investing, but just on financial literacy in general that will be helpful to you, sir. Yes, sir.
Ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited to hear that you're interested, because now is a wonderful time. I know people, you listen to stuff and people try to paint this picture of, oh my God, the stock market is crashing and things are so doom and gloom. But let me just give y'all a tip. As I say, I'm not an expert, but I do know this. The time to invest is when the market is at the bottom, which is where it is right now. It's kind of low right now because you can afford some stuff. When you wait until it gets to the all-time highs, you can't afford nothing. So you want to buy low and sell high. Buy low and sell high. So go check out my friend Dr. Boyce Watkins over there at that Black Business School, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling. And have a great day.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Mr. Jones, do we have another caller? Oh, okay. So not so far, not so far. I was trying to check my YouTube to see if we had any comments. Thank you so much for your participation this morning, because this is a very important conversation that we are having this morning. Now I want to, I got to shift this, the legacy planner in me. We got to shift this conversation just a little bit. And talk about how this spending, our Black Friday spending, could actually impact our legacy and our ability to protect our family. When we overspend during the holidays, it doesn't just impact our wallets, it does impact our legacy. Well, how, you might ask, Dr. Williams, how is that? Well, when you have high credit card balances, little savings, no investments, no estate plan, your family becomes vulnerable. So this morning, I want to encourage us. Let this be the year, this year, 2025, that we shift from buying to building. Let this be the year that we choose intentional spending. And let this be the year that our Thanksgiving is about connection, not just consumption. Connection, not just consumption. We got to shift our thinking. Shift our thinking. Now, something else I want to challenge us to think about this week while we are gathered together. I know many families will be traveling. Many families will be gathering under one roof and around one table. And while we are there, this is the perfect time to gently, lovingly talk about the plans that protect our families long after the holiday lights come down. Yes, we got to have that conversation. Now, I know estate planning isn't always an easy topic to bring up. I know that. I know it can feel very heavy. It can feel emotional, but it is one of the greatest acts of love and responsibility. Love and responsibility that we can offer the people who depend on us. We got to start having some different conversations when we sitting around the table. Not just about what's on sale and where we going at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Are we really having are using the time and the opportunities that we have while we're gathered to engage in meaningful conversations? Because the truth of the matter is, avoiding the conversation doesn't make the need disappear. If anything, it actually makes the impact greater when life happens unexpectedly. And we all know that it can. As a matter of fact, this past weekend, Mr. Jones, I went to 2 funerals, not one, but 2. And one of the things that was really interesting about both of the funerals, the first funeral I attended was on Saturday. And in place of what would normally be the eulogy, they didn't offer a eulogy, they offered a message. So when the preacher got up to speak, he said, everybody that spoke before me has already eulogized her. The eulogy talks about that person. He said, so the message that I have ain't for her, it's for y'all. So I thought that was a very interesting approach. Now, the second funeral I went to on yesterday, one of the things that stood out to me was how much they did talk about this individual, and they talked about her in a very positive way for the most part. One of the things I heard over and over was, how this person was a very nice dresser, and that's good, and that's great. And how this person was a matter of fact person. She told it like it was. She was kind of like Sheriff Jones. So they put me in the mind of that she didn't cut no punches. She told you what she thought. You didn't have to figure it out. Okay, and that's fine. They talked about how she drove. Every time you saw her, she was driving that nice, fine Cadillac. And all of those things are great. But in my heart of hearts, what I was saying to myself is, I hope she had her business fixed. I hope she had her business matters arranged. Because all of that's great and that's good. But what you don't want to do is leave your family behind fighting over that Cadillac or those nice clothes and all that stuff. You don't want to leave your family in that position. So I hope while we are together over the holidays that we will go ahead and start engaging in some meaningful conversation as we sit with our loved ones this season. Maybe it's not Thanksgiving. Maybe your family not getting together for Thanksgiving. Maybe it's Christmas. Whatever the case may be, consider this your invitation to be brave, to step outside of yourself and start having the necessary conversations, to ask the questions, to start the dialogue, to say we need to talk about our plans, not out of fear, but out of love. And especially if you know you don't have any plans, if you know you do not have any life insurance, go ahead and let your family know so they can put a plan together. Because the reality is, if you check out before they do, they got to figure out how to put you in the ground. Go ahead and start talking about these things. We say that we love our families, and God knows I believe we do, but love is an action. It is not just verbal. It's not just a phrase that we tell each other. I love you. Don't just tell me, show me, position me properly. Now, estate planning, I know a lot of us think that it's all about death, but it isn't. Because the reality is the plans that we make are for the people that we leave behind. It's about protecting the people that we leave behind. Because what I did not see at either one of those funerals that I attended this weekend, I did not see anything other than the body, this shell of a body that our spirits are housed in while we're here on this earth. I saw that in that casket. I saw the little clothes that people are put away in. And I saw the little, these were both females. So we pretty them up. We put the jewelry on them and all of that. But other than that, we ain't taking nothing with us when we leave here. All of this stuff is going to be left behind. We need to leave some instructions so that it is clear what our intentions are for the things that we leave behind. We have got to cut this mess out about, I'll let them figure it out. That's the worst thing in the world that we can do. Let them figure it out. Because I assure you, the way they are going to figure it out is it's going to be a lot of fussing, fighting, and confusion. And you can avoid that by doing what you need to do. It's about peace. Peace for the people that we hold dear. And there is no better time than right now. Right now, because and that's all we have is right now. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know when it will be the last time that we are gathered around the Thanksgiving table. We don't know. And because we don't know, we need to seize this opportunity and go ahead and get it done. Because I go back to holiday spending. If you can, if you can go out and you can purchase Black Friday sales, you can purchase an estate plan. We have convinced ourselves we can't afford this, we can't afford that. Many of us have. And we got to cut that mess out. You can afford it if that's what you choose to do, because we do with our money what we choose to do. We've got to make some things a priority. It's time for our community to start moving in a different way. So let's have that conversation. Let's at least begin the conversation this weekend, this Thursday, as we are gathered together. Let this holiday be more than a celebration. Let it be preparation. Let it be the beginning of a legacy secured. Let it be the beginning. This season, Want all of us to give our family the gift that lasts. Give them a plan. Position them. How do we do that? We got to think differently. We've got to think differently. And I'm going to say to some of us people that may not have young children, but you may have grandchildren. Sometimes we got to do the thinking for these young folks. We got to position them. We got to position these grandbabies, not just because it's a good thing to do. Guess what? For all of us, that are people of faith and we believe in God and we believe in God's word, scripture tells us a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. That means your grandchildren. You got to be thinking 2 generations ahead. And when we go out and when we making these senseless purchases, all this stuff that we know they don't need, we're not thinking about our children's children. We're not thinking about legacy. We're not thinking about that, but we're called to do so. So I want to encourage us. I want to encourage us this morning. Let's start thinking differently. If you don't know, and you don't know, get you some education. A lot of this stuff, you guys, they didn't teach us at school. I get it. Ain't nobody in school been to more school than I have. I was there for a long time. So long I was on the extended plan. I remember one time I messed up and told my mama, I think I'm going to go back and get another degree. She said, no, baby, what? No. It's time for you to go on out in the workforce. Now you've been there long enough. Okay. But even during all of that schooling, there are just some things they didn't have a class in financial literacy that I could take. They didn't have a class in stock market investing that I could take, or real estate investing that I could take. This is where it requires us to do something a little bit more, to do something a little bit differently. This is where it's going to require us, instead of watching Netflix. Now, I'm going to put it a little bit differently. Instead of looking at Netflix, we might need to start watching Netflix. Instead of looking at those iPhones, we might need to start watching Apple. We got to do something differently, because if we continue doing what we have always done, which is Black Friday comes, Black Friday sales, we run out, we put all our money that we have and even money that we don't have out there to make somebody else's Friday black and ours red, then we're going to continue getting the same results that we have always gotten. Nothing is going to change until we do. So this is a call to action. My community, it's a call to action. Ask yourself, what will I do differently this holiday season? What is it that they selling that you really need? Most of us got more stuff than we using. Most of us. More stuff than we really using. You ask us, you invite us somewhere and you tell us we got to wear blue. We go in our closets, we got 50 blue dresses, but yet we tell ourselves we don't have a blue dress to wear. We got to go buy one. We got to stop that. We have just got to stop and start positioning not only ourselves, but our children and our children's children on a foundation where they can begin building wealth. Because the reality is, in our community, who starts over every generation? Who starts from scratch? Every generation. Our community, the Black community, we start from scratch every generation. Now, for those of you that would argue with me and say, well, I didn't start from scratch and my children not going to start from scratch. Well, I will tell you this. If you don't position your children properly with the financial literacy and education that they need, it does not matter how much money you leave behind for them. They still going to waste it and go through it in one generation. Do I need to repeat that again for the people in the back? Doesn't matter how much life insurance you leave behind for them. It doesn't matter how many houses, how many cars, how much stuff you leave behind for them. If you don't give them the financial literacy that they need, they're going to go through it in one generation. It is what it is. It is what it is. Statistics has already shown us. Think about it. Think about how many of us have, maybe it's very few, but there were some of us that have been left things. We've inherited some things. Some of us were good stewards of the things that we inherited. Many of us, not so much. It's the reality. And why? Not because we're bad people, but you cannot do what you don't know how to do. If you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the literacy that you need, you are not going to be a good steward of it. And as I say this, my people, as I minister unto you, I minister unto myself. Same thing. We cannot do what we don't know. So I compel you, please spend this holiday season, challenge yourself to do just one thing differently. Have a conversation with your family. Invest differently. Rather than buying stuff, go look at buying some stock for those kids. Yeah, they may want a new pair of Nike shoes, but sit them down and say, well, I can give you the shoes, or I can put you on a pathway to becoming a part owner of Nike by giving you a stock certificate. Okay? We got to position them. We got to educate them. I'm looking at the time, and I kind of expected to have a few more calls. I saw a few names on here I recognize. I thought they may want to call in and get in on this conversation this morning, but I guess they just listening to me. But I want to go ahead and just kind of start with my closing monologue this morning. Again, as I know, we are in the Thanksgiving week. This is Monday. On Thursday, if the good Lord says the same, we will be celebrating another Thanksgiving holiday. And as I bring this show to a close this morning, I want to thank all of you for your continued love, support, and for tuning in with me week after week on So Talks Money and More. Whether you're listening on the radio, watching me online, or following along on social media, you are a vital part of our mission to educate, empower, and uplift our community. Dr. Williams, appreciation. I do. I appreciate you more than you know. Because it's one thing to crawl out of bed at 4 o'clock every morning. Pastor, I see you. Good morning. How you doing? It's one thing to do that, but it's a whole nother thing to know that you have people that are tuned in, that are listening to you. Actually, Mr. Jones, I was at the funeral yesterday down in JDC. And I had folks coming up to me saying, I'm listening to you. I'm listening. Yes. Shout out to JDC. Yes, my hometown say they are listening to me on the radio. Oh, so I thank you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. From my heart to yours, I wish you and your beautiful, beautiful family a wonderful, safe-filled, joy-filled Thanksgiving holiday. I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay empowered. And I want you to stay intentional. Until next time, if it's Monday, so is talking money and more. Peace.